Real Madrid 3, Cadiz nothing.
Yes, 3 goals, 3 points, and Real Madrid top of the table after that as well. And it's been a very difficult international week for Carlo Ancelotti, losing another 2 key players to injury in Camavinga and Vinny Jr. I suppose at this stage, Ali, he's just going to have to take things game by game.
Yeah, and you have to figure out who's available to you and how do you manage to get 3 points in that specific game. And so today, for example, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos play together. It's something that perhaps hasn't worked out in the past for Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti. And guess what? Luka Modric comes on the field because he's complaining about something that is going on in terms of soft tissue injury in the back of his leg. How does that affect Real Madrid going forward? We don't know, but what we do know is that they're leading La Liga right now.
Right now, obviously, with Girona playing on Monday. Luis Garcia is joining us as well. He was watching that game too. I mean, there are going to be much more difficult tests ahead for Real Madrid, particularly with the players that they have absent than Cadiz was today, Luis.
Yes, I think so. Okay, today Real Madrid, yes, it was cruising, no difficulties at all. I think if they needed something else, they would have found their way to get it. But it was kind of an easy game for Cadiz. You know that when you play against Real Madrid, 2 things very important. First of all, don't concede early on the game because then you give them the dominance. They know how to control the tempo. They know how to make you go out of your place, out of your comfort zone, and then in transition, they're going to be very good. And the second one is transition. Don't break your team in 2 pieces because that's where Real Madrid used their full talent. And today, Cadiz did exactly that. They conceded just 15 minutes after the start of the game. It's true that after, the reaction was good. They controlled some time. They created a few chances, but we knew that this Cadiz has so many problems to score goals. So in the end, a 3-0 win for Real Madrid. I think that some of the players didn't even have a sweat because they were just jogging, just keeping the ball. We saw the second goal of Rodrygo, just passing players without any kind of problem and scoring with just almost a tap in the kind of range of Ali. So I think that it was an easy game for Real Madrid. And Cadiz, once again, need to find a way because it's got 2 important games during the week to try to get out of the positions of relegation zone.
Can't tell if that was a dig or a compliment.
No. I think it's a compliment. You know, Luis and I have been getting along quite well lately. It's been a whole lot of bro love going on.
Let me talk about Rodrygo, because we've seen that when it comes to Carlo Ancelotti, he definitely knows how to manage this player. We've seen him have a bit of an argument with him and have to tell him, calm down, when Rodrygo's spoken back to him. But recently, Rodrygo had spoken about how when things haven't been going well for him, Carlo Ancelotti has been extremely consistent with him, talking to him after every training session, just letting him know, it's okay, I believe in you. And we saw that pay off today, Ale.
It's part of managing, understanding what each player needs. I don't imagine that Jude Bellingham needs to be told how great he is all the time, but maybe Rodrygo does need somebody to explain to him after training, this is working, this is not working. Part of managing is understanding what the needs are for each one of your players so that you can get the very best out of those players. And in the case of Rodrygo, there are moments in which Carlo Ancelotti has had to be stern and tough with him and said, sit down, relax, stop the whining, stop the complaining. We don't need that. I need you to play out of position. Don't complain about that. You're going to see that you're going to score goals because I am putting you in positions where you're going to be successful. So trust me. And I think in the case of Rodrygo specifically, what he sees and what he gets for Carlo Ancelotti is consistency of the message and clarity. Clarity and trust. When you have that from a manager, that goes both ways. It's not just a one-way relationship. There is communication, and you get that clarity, and you get that trust, and you get that confidence from the manager. What else are you going to do if you're a player? You want to go out there and repay that trust. You want to go out there and prove your worth to your manager and to your team, and that's what we saw today from Rodrygo. And he wasn't even supposed to play. So guess what? Now everybody's happy because Carlo Ancelotti puts him out on the field and says, you know, I know you have a knee injury. I know you have an issue. But do me a favor. Do me a solid. Get out there and do the work for us. And he did that. Rodrygo was excellent today, especially in transition moments.
And obviously, he's going to have to keep this up now, Luis, especially with the absence of Vinny until February.
Yeah, exactly. That's what is being the demanding for him. In the start of the season, we saw that once again, he was doing a good job, delivering what the manager was asking. It's true that in this kind of change the system of Real Madrid since the beginning, it's been not easy for him because not having Benzema, he's a player who likes to be around, make a satellite from a center forward. But right now, it's a totally different situation. But it was quite inconsistent. He was with good games and bad games, and when he was supposed to deliver, Ancelotti said, listen, if you're not going to give me that, then you're going to complain about getting more minutes, so go to have a seat and let's think about how we can deal with this situation. And finally, in the last couple of games, we saw a very good Rodrygo. Sometimes he will be the one who scores the goals, but I think he's not only there to score goals, he's also for create, to make something different up front. And today, it was only about scoring goals. We saw him ending up the game with a bag of ice on his knee, so it proved that he was in his 100%, but definitely when it's time to arrive in those moments outside of the box, I think he's one of the best players we can see for Real Madrid. Clinical inside the box, and right now what we want to see is that if he can manage to do it next weekend or maybe against Lazio in midweek game.
Here's an easy one for you, Ale. How good is Jude Bellingham?
Well, it's an easy one in that he's really, really, really good. But I think it goes beyond the goals. And people have a tendency of get fixated with the goals. We get fixated with the goals. It's the first full screen that we see from him, the productivity. But when you see Jude Bellingham, it is the totality of his game that makes him the player that he is. There were moments today in the game that had nothing to do with him scoring that told you exactly the kind of player he is for Real Madrid. Trailing runs, where he's chasing a player for 15, 20, 30 yards so that he can make a challenge and he can stop a transition from Cadiz. That gives you a sense and an idea as to what is it that Jude Bellingham is. It's not only a guy who's scoring a bunch of goals and big goals for Real Madrid, it's also a guy that gives you presence, that gives you leadership, that gives you talent, physicality, speed, strength, able to cover the space, a true, and sometimes we throw this around and we don't quite know exactly what we're talking about. But he is a true box-to-box. He is defending when need be. He can win a sliding challenge, or he can be a presence in the attacking box as well and score a goal in the manner in which he did today. And he's 20 years old, right? So when we talk about how good he is, think about how good he can be. Is this the best of Jude Bellingham right now? I don't think so. I think he's going to get better, and that's a scary thought for everybody else. But if you're a Real Madrid fan, you're loving it.
And it couldn't be better, Luis, for Real Madrid, because he really is showing himself to have integrated so well on and off the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. He, from the first minute, knew that he needed to adapt the Greek, to learn the language, to get involved with the rest of the players, that they see that he is committed to the team. And once again, he is done it in an amazing way. We saw him already trying to speak in some of the interviews in Spanish. And that gives you a little bit to understand that he's here not for maybe stay 1 day, year, 2 years. He knows the importance of being an important player for Real Madrid, being a player who wears the jersey, and why not to be challenging for the Ballon d'Or, maybe next year or maybe in 2 years' time. But I think he's clear that his goals, and today it was proven once again. It's not only about the goal that Ali just mentioned. The goal of Rodrygo is the one who's making that run to take away 2 players from him, who allowed him. That football intelligence is something that you cannot teach, that you cannot practice. That's something that you have, and he proven when he arrived from Real Madrid that he's got that. He's got the physicality, speed, strength, vision. He's got everything, the full package. But I'm so surprised that everything he does is right. Every decision he makes is the good one. Is the one who is needed in that exactly moment. That's so difficult because he's only 20, and you get that when you get experience. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed with him, and well, I'm just looking forward to see what is the player we're gonna see in maybe 2-3 more years.
Yeah, it really has been incredible to see.